Okay. Okay, I gotta start. I gotta get in here. Okay, it can be trippy on your screen for a second. I gotta turn off the music though. All right, I'm gonna come in here. We have like 60 seconds. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
I
here.
cheat with all my papers.
oh
Hi,
no,
Jake.
Hi.
he joins just at the moment that she gives away all her secrets. The woman who
Thank you,
works, I
Clippy.
cheat on all my papers.
I meant with the conversions. Come on. I do enough fucking math. My job. Jake, hi.
Hi.
Face to face, we've never met. I'm Amanda,
Hi.
and this is my producer / boyfriend Robbie.
Imagine
You
having a
should put the
producer.
boyfriend bit
Oh
at the start. Usually put the
jeez.
boyfriend.
It's okay. Sometimes, as a boyfriend of a person, sometimes these titles get mixed around. I agree. So
Sorry. I mean, I have no. I'm technologically not proficient, regardless of all the science I do. I guess I just don't do computers, so he does it for me. It's so much easier.
Well, considering that the stream didn't work 90 minutes ago for bees, if it's the same fucking problem, you're not streaming.
Don't like. Oh, okay. Just tell me when to go when I'm fucking ready. Whatever.
So
For Jake, personally, I'd like to say thank you and nice to meet you, man. I've been watching you for quite a while. Just after you changed from Bible Reloaded to Hugo and Jake, and I must have spent, I think, about 3.5 months doing your entire Jake and Hugo watch movie.
Thank
I think
you.
I spent like 3.5 months watching that. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then we actually changed it to Hannah and Jake because she came out as trans. So yeah. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks, McClippy. I appreciate it, buddy.
Oh no, I'm totally gonna lick your ass the entire way through the interview. And then
Oh,
at the end,
that's perfect.
You're not even gonna be here, so
I'm gonna ask you to come on to my channel at the end of it, so don't worry.
There we go.
you can't see, but I have the Bible Reloaded sticker on my computer. And
Thank you.
my son has it on his door as well. So
That's awesome. That's so cool.
but yeah, you have any questions? Language is anything is fine. I swear a fuck ton.
Yeah,
so.
obviously I do too. No,
I
I
didn't
think I'm
see
good.
you
Nothing's
guys
really off
happen.
limits. I'm good.
Okay.
With everything. Do you want me to show? This is kind of the back end of your production. Do you want me to show this on my end of the stream or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
That's fine.
So
So they
I
can know
will just
happening.
basically just do that right there, and that way they can see. I'll maybe move it around. Can I maximize this? Can I just double?
You can do whatever you want, man. I've hacked. A friend of ours have hacked StreamYard, so
Yeah.
whatever you do, my what do we call it? Tamper monkey. My script will just overwrite everything you do anyway.
Okay. Is there a way to make this huge on my screen, or is it only going to be like in a little, the little window there? Oh, that's interesting.
If you hit F11, I think it is, we'll make it full screen.
F11. I hope that doesn't. I hope that's not a hot button for Streamlabs. We'll find out. Okay, no, it's not. All right, that's close.
Did it work?
Yeah, that's pretty
It
good.
makes it a tiny wee bit bigger. It's
Yeah.
not much bigger.
That's fine.
See, it works on his laptop. Why does it not? Or his computer. Why does it not work on your computer when you hit F11? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, Jeffrey's here. I love Jeffrey. With Daddy Jeffrey, he's here.
Wait, do you have a different Jeffrey, or do we share a Jeffrey?
Patron. We share this.
We
a
share
lot
the
of
Jeffrey.
people. Yes, I love Jeffrey Patron. I love his channel. He's so adorable.
A wonderful fella. We are pretty close to a threshold where they force me to put on a corn suit. So if I end up being a man corn,
Yeah. I introduced you as a corn poop today anyway, so you do as you wish.
Technically, the thumbnail is you wearing the corn pope hat.
well, there we
Yeah.
go. Dope. That's been a
All right,
weird
we're ready
ride.
to go, honey.
All right.
Just tell me when I'm actually live, please. If you can do that for me.
Right, this won't let me stream for you either, Pet.
Are you serious?
No. Hold on. Just wait, and I'll go in through your account. Just chill. 1 second.
We actually had dark matter on a few weeks ago, and it got cut down 3 times. It
Oh,
was not fun, so we had to come back and do it the next weekend. But yeah,
he's great. What a good guy.
yes, he is. Fun with YouTube though.
Do I vape? I do not vape, unless you mean the only thing I vape is I prefer that over like rolling joints if I partake, but I don't like vape nicotine.
I quit smoking a while ago, so I vape. My son just got a new dab pen, so he's very excited about that.
Dab pens are nuts. They're so good. Is it legal where you guys are at?
No, I'm in Georgia.
Oh.
And he's in Northern Ireland, so we all smoke. It's just it's not legal where we do it.
Here in Michigan, oh man, I'm never gonna go back to illegal weed again. It's just, man, it's so good. It's so much better. And I don't really smoke that much. It's just better when they are able to cultivate out in the open instead of in a garage, and it makes the product so much better.
I lived in Arizona for a while, and they had, medicinal marijuana, but like in every fucking corner. So that was nice. It's not so available here.
Yeah.
Honey, what's happening? Are you figuring it out?
Yes. Yeah. Just ignore me. I'll scream and let you know.
Okay. I have the teenage son, and that's our root, because teens know where all the weed is. But it's not good weed, and that's what sucks. That's why he got the dab pen.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I use it for sleep aid mostly. I don't usually. My days of wanting to get really fucked up daily are kind of behind me. I kind of hit a wall around 30. I was like, you know what? It's okay to experience things, but also I have things to do from time to time.
Yeah. But I have chronic pain, so it
works. My ankle is really messed up. It really helps. Or I actually just pulled the shit out of my back. My sciatic nerve got pinched. It works wonders with that.
Yeah, it does.
So good. Uh-oh, looks like I'm a corn man. God damn it. All right, it's hot in here. Okay, thank you guys so much for all the support. I appreciate you. This has been going too fast anyway for me to yell at, but I appreciate it. Someone wanted me to ask you about Kemp? A Kemp?
Kemp is my governor.
Fuckface Kemp? Okay. So you have a shitty governor.
Issued the order making it illegal for cities and counties in Georgia to issue mask laws. He opened our beaches in April, and he was one of the first governors to open completely, and he opened it past, like, even Trump said, dude, that's too much, because he opened massage and tattoo parlors and hair salons and nail salons. He's just like, fuck it, everything's open, we're all good. So we're up to like our worst numbers so far. It's really fucking bad right now. But the thing was that the mayor of Atlanta had bitched about, because Trump came into Atlanta and wasn't wearing a mask at Hartsfield-Jackson, our airport.
Sure.
So the mayor of Atlanta, she is actually one of the possibilities for VP running mate. She's called him out on it, and then the next day Kemp did this and issued this non-mask order. So
I don't know. Republicans are like, there's conservative. Like, I don't want things to change, which I totally disagree with, but, like, I can hear you on that. And then there's just this like, dumb stuff, like, whatever Obama says is wrong. Even though I disagree with Obama a lot, it started there, and now it's just, like, personal safety is shit. Like, weren't there weird... Didn't they jerk off to themselves with patriotism, like, a week ago, and now they're like, by the way, I don't care about my fellow man. What the fuck is this shit?
Right. This is working. About to hit the button, Pat.
Button time.
Button time.
All right, I'm going to dismount real quick.
Good call, baby.
On your life.
Good call.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Living Critically. My guest is putting on his corn pope suit. But everybody knows who he is. It's Papa Bear Jake, or actual Jake from Hannah and Jake. So...
This is the part where I got to put my ears in the cornhole. It just happened. Apologies. Here it happens. Okay. You saw a little bit behind the scenes here. Usually, I just, like Superman, it just happens, and then no one really knows why, but now we finally got the secret of how I turn into the corn.
I'm very glad it happened on my channel then.
Thanks for having me.
No, I'm Momma Atheist, Amanda. But Just really quick, I want to thank everybody that my friends put together a wish list for me when I was really sick recently with pneumonia, complications from surgery, and my friends put together a wish list and sent me stuff, and I'm just very grateful and thankful to everybody. And this is the first stream I've done myself since I was sick and in the hospital, so thank you.
You're just unmuted whenever you said thank you for the wish list. I'm a dick. Don't shout at me.
Oh, fuck me, Rossi. He does that a lot. Okay, again, I was just saying thank you to everybody who got me stuff for my wish list, and everybody supported me while I was in the hospital and stuff and sick, so thank you. Moving on, I have someone I wanted to have on my channel since I started because I would not be here without Jake. Jake, thank you so much for coming. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, apparently I'm relegated to being a corn mascot now. I don't know what happened. I started streaming on Twitch, and I'm doing so right now. So also say hi to everybody there. Hi, everybody. And we make sure to get Momma Atheist link, one of my mods. Make sure to put that in the chat so that you guys can cross-pollinate. Great community over there too. Yeah, so basically I do a lot of lefty politics. Obviously started with the TBR, the Bible Reloaded, the Atheist Bible Study. Still doing that. It slowed down a lot because of COVID. It shut everything down. We actually yesterday was the first day Hannah and I had been able to hang out since lockdown.
Really?
Yesterday was. And then 2 days before that was the first day.
You only hugged a few times. Was there a hug this time?
3 times. There was no hug this time.
Oh, I knew it was 3.
Yeah. Hannah's not much of a hugger, but we're trying to break that down because I am very much a hugger. I will hug most people. Most of my friends get hugged. But and then 2 days before that was the first time we were able to sit in the studio together since lockdown. Because we're in Michigan. It's going pretty well here. We get some crazies, but it's going pretty well here. So it's been weird. It's very much slowed down, but we're excited to get back. We're gonna be doing a Marigeddon pretty soon, which is a movie. So which is dog shit, and looking forward to that. Looking forward to continuing the New Testament study and stuff like that. But yeah, on Twitch we do a lot more politics. Each of us do, debate and stuff like that. It's just been a lot of fun, and we've been able to build really cool communities sort of separately together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's what we're talking about tonight. There was one thing I just wanted to share. I've actually probably told this story before, but I am new to the community. My channel is relatively new. I think I started in March. But I didn't know that there was like an atheist community online or anything like that. I didn't know there was anybody on YouTube. Like, I didn't watch a lot of YouTube. My son and I, like, he'd come in my room and we'd watch a gaming video or something about Star Wars, because we're huge Star Wars fans.
Me too.
So one night he's like, oh, I found this channel. These guys sit there and talk shit about Christian movies. So he showed it to me, and it was like 9 o'clock at night. I kid you not. It was about 11:30 the next morning when I was like, maybe I should stop watching these videos.
I'm glad you like. We started. We didn't really do like, there's lots of people that do like a really amazing production value, and like, they work really hard in their sets and they're really good. We're just very conversational, and so I'm glad that it worked out from time to time. Although at this point, most of the stuff is demonetized, but.
But it doesn't. You don't need the sets, you guys. I mean, the chemistry between you and Hannah is just. You can tell how much you love each other, and I understand what you mean, because I'm a climate scientist, so some of the videos, like the only scripted videos I do is stuff about climate science, and it's just me. Like, I might have some graphs or whatever, but it's really just me talking. I just want to get the point across. Yeah. You don't need a huge production value as long as you're, getting to say what you need to say, and you guys are amazing together, so you don't need that much.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons we started the thing in the beginning, because we would have conversations and realize that it just, like, they didn't slow down really, and there was a lot of chemistry. And at the time, it took me a lot to get Hannah to like come out and live in the world. So and she lived right next door to me. So it was like, come on, let's hang out. And like I got me and all my friends. It's still kind of that way. I'm kind of the catalyst, but still, it slowly as this experience of her coming out actually has been a lot better. So
yeah, I was super. I actually figured out her name before she announced it.
There were hints.
Really
there were hints. Some internet detectives actually did find it. In fact, there was. She plays role-playing games a lot, and if anyone follows on Twitter, she had been playing Fallout a lot, and the name of the character was Hannah. And some people were like, I think that's it, because he keeps showing screenshots, and I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm so thrilled for her, and I'm so thrilled that she has a fund. Actually, I should put that in the link. I didn't do that. I'm sorry.
It's actually, no, you don't have to. It's actually met its goal.
Really?
Yeah, met its goal. So.
Oh, okay.
Everything from here on out's gravy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that she felt like, she could tell everybody, and I'm so glad that everybody was so supportive of her.
Yeah.
It was like I cried. It was really touching. And yeah. I was very happy for her that she's able to be herself now, and that's what's important.
Yeah. Definitely there's been, I think everyone's noticed a big change in just the just being comfortable. She described it right when she came out in the coming out video as like wearing a big heavy coat that you can never take off and you're always uncomfortable with it. I feel like that coat is getting thinner and thinner every day. So yeah, it's been really good, and hopefully, because I didn't know, obviously she didn't tell me that she was trans. I think we found out maybe a year before everybody else did, or roughly a year. And I had been doing pro-trans content for about a year at that point. Mm-hmm. And I think between I don't know, I think it took her like coming out of the other side of that the really hardcore anti-SJW content that was coming out on YouTube that we didn't engage with, there was a lot of hate. I mean, it still happens, but it's there's more people bucking against it now that are just like, dude, this is stupid. And I think it was people like ContraPoints coming into popularity, and then a combination of the people around her, me, but like my girlfriend's very obviously supportive, and like all of our friends group are very supportive. One of my best friends dates a non-binary person, and like there was just like a coalescing of like all these things that a person that is typically very uncomfortable and not willing to share feelings very deeply was able to do so, and everybody who is in the fandom 100% helped perpetuate that and make sure that it was comfortable for everybody. And so thanks for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of our topic tonight, is building inclusive communities. It's something that for me, and it's been a little while since I've sat on your Twitch streams, just because the virus and everything. Yeah. I have a single mom and job and all of it, but I used to be there all the time, and it's so inclusive, and it's everybody is welcome. You did the 24-hour trans stream, and you knew about it then, right?
Oh yeah. Nobody else did, really. I don't think. That wasn't for her. That had been planned prior, I believe. Well, kind of. I had talked about it because we basically found out around Christmas of that year. When she came out to us, she was standing in my house after we recorded something, and she came out to me and my girlfriend, and it was a good moment. That was the third time we hugged, and it was a good damn hug too. But before that, Sarah's my girlfriend, we'd been wanting to use the platform to try to find a charity, and we ended up going with mermaids in that summertime right around Pride. We actually had to push it back because we got sick at Pride. So that was Hannah's first Pride, and then we got to do that charity, and it was all just kind of serendipitous. And mermaids was really great. we had some DMs back and forth, and they were kind of vetting me to make sure that I was actually an ally and everything, and which is fantastic. I hope charities do that. And yeah, the whole experience was really cool. H Bomber guy showed up. We had we just had a lot of really cool guests, and then a bunch of people in the community like Hassan, and even people that are kind of wishy-washy, although not in the trans issue. People like Destiny were like supporting the stream and stuff, and so it was it was really cool. It was nice, and we're probably gonna do something again. I'm thinking next time we might do something for homelessness or something, but I've never played the Dark Souls games. And I'm really shit at those kinds of things, so I'm thinking about maybe just playing one and trying to beat it until I beat it. I don't know.
All right. But you've developed kind of a family, especially with the Twitch that you do, and everybody that does the Twitch really goes over and watches the stuff on YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like. Kind of, I don't want to say a group of misfits because we're not misfits, but we all feel like we can be included no matter who we are. How did you start building that kind of community?
I think, oddly enough, I didn't realize this until it happened. I guess it's weird for straight white cis guys to be not dicks about this stuff. I don't know. I didn't know that was the case because all of my straight white cis guy friends are like, yeah, that's fine, whatever, I don't care. But I guess there's not a lot of content creators, and I don't know. There is this toxic masculinity aspect or aspect of toxic masculinity, I guess, that we deal with. Especially when I was growing up. Like, if you supported, like, I guess specifically homosexuality in the 90s and stuff, they're like, well, why are you supporting that? Are you gay? And I was like, I never cared because I wasn't religious or anything. So I was just like, no, but like, why would I give a shit? And so I just have always been really comfortable. I guess that's a benefit of my upbringing, which is weird. But that was probably one of the best things that my parents did, is not be religious or not be. My dad was incredibly prejudiced, and he would have disowned me if I was gay. So I don't know where this really came from, but
I'm the polar. My son and I are the black sheeps of our family. Me and my parents they literally watch Fox News all day long.
Oh yeah.
My father is a climate science denier now, or climate change denier.
You're a climate scientist?
I'm a climate scientist. His own daughter with a master's in climate science, who worked for NASA, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He went as soon as Trump came out and said he didn't believe it. He's like, no, it's total bullshit. So
yeah.
I
don't know. Something about Trump supporters that make it their personality is very strange.
It's hard to deal with. So
yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, I mean, I know your father passed away recently, but was he a Trump supporter too?
Oh hell yeah. I'm actually I put out a video about this, so it's not a sore subject for me. It was relieving that he died, and some people might be like, fuck, that's really shocking to say. I'm not being edgy. He was just like a really bad guy, and kind of a toxic presence in my life and some of the people around. Some people liked him. Like, I went to his funeral, and one guy who was drunk said, your father was a great man. I'm like, he threatened to shoot my dogs once because I wouldn't take the trash out because I was busy working. Jesus. But whatever, bro. Like, that's fine. Yeah, well, I mean,
my father has threatened to leave my dog out on the street if I didn't do what he wanted. So I get it.
Shit is. Yeah. I don't know. It was. I mean, that's just one small thing in a myriad of things that just build up. But definitely a Trump supporter.
Totally valid not to experience, like, everybody thinks you have to experience grief a certain way and you have to act a certain way, and that's depending on your relationship with the person. Grief is a personal thing, and there's no reason to judge them for it.
And like, my mom, they got divorced, it was like 2004, so it was a long time, and maybe in 2003. But she still cried because, that was a man she loved at one point. So I totally get it. And I was trying to explain to her, like, it's okay if you feel sad, but don't I don't. That's okay too. I actually, in the video I made about it, I felt more sad about not being sad. Like I was upset that like you can take that from somebody. You can take, like, I should give a shit that my dad's dead, but like I don't care, and that was upsetting. That was more upsetting. I don't know. It was weird.
Well, I remember watching that video, but I also remember thinking I would feel the same way when I will feel the same way when my father dies. The only thing is, and I think this is something a lot of people experience when they have a bad relationship with someone and they die, is that there's no way he's ever going to say, you know what, I'm proud of you. I don't hate you anymore. So, you know, that's never going to happen anyway. I don't expect it to happen. So
yeah, well, for me, it's not. It wouldn't. It'd take a lot more than one instance of, hey, I love you and I'm proud of you. It would take like a genuine disposition change for someone to go from like literally like. I mentioned this in the video. This is just one of my flashbulb moments with the guy. Is I was really, really excited about, because I used to love to play basketball. I actually got hurt really bad and couldn't play. I haven't been able to play since like I was 20. But it's like my favorite thing in the whole world. One of my first memories is holding a basketball, and I made the basketball team for the first time, like in a tryout, when I was like 12 or 13, somewhere in there. And instead of like being proud of me, he said basketball's an N-word sport. Like, that was the kind of guy this guy was. And I was like, wow, man, like, he just sucked the energy out of the fucking room. And I was like, that's not okay. And maybe that's, I guess, more to the point of the inclusivity. Like, I don't know, like, I think some people take that and like emulate it, and then some people take bad experiences and go, well, that's what I'm not gonna do. And I think that might be why if anyone who knows me and my family doesn't understand how I exist and have grown from that space.
Same here.
It's not like I'm a genius or anything, but boy, do I have a strange lineage leading to this point. I am very much out of left field, so to speak, and I think a lot of people are like that in the community as well, where it's just like they're like, you know, a lot of them are part of the LGBT community, or, you know, definitely atheist, or just a little bit different from their family. And I think that everybody sort of it's intersectionality. Everybody can kind of like empathize with everybody else's sort of shit going on, and whether it's just being a minority or being, you know, gay or whatever, trans. Everybody can kind of like chill in this space and know that like everybody else has got each other's back. And like, I think it helps that I have an open door policy. If you're talking shit in my chat, you have to, and it's like bad stuff, like not just like, I disagree, I think the earth is flat, but like, there's only two genders and blah, 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 you're all a bunch of weirdos. You have to come talk to me on stream live, right there, right then, or you're banned. And and there's people in chat that I've done that to that come back and they're like, you know what, you changed my mind. And sometimes I totally didn't change their mind. But
but that's one of the cool things about the chat, is that like while everybody's engaged in what you're doing, whether it be taking out the trash or talking politics or whatever, they're able to be completely themselves in that chat and talk to each other about stuff that's happening and how they're feeling. And I think part of it is, you know, the fact that it is the internet and there's a bit of anonymity to it. And for some people it's the first step too. Like, sometimes it's the first time they say things like, I think I'm ace, or I might be bi.
We get that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time that happens. People are like, especially with the hand is coming out video, or just the discussions we have here between those two events, like if we talk gender here or that video, people are like, wow, I didn't really like realize. Jeffrey's a great example. Fan of both of ours. Sorry to put you in the spotlight here, Jeff, but I love you. Explored the binary nature of gender roles, and was like, you know what? I don't know if I really fit that. Like, and being comfortable being ace. And there's lots of people in here that you know, we have lots of really good conversations. They teach me a lot, because obviously, straight white cis guy, like I can't experience how any of that feels, and so through teaching me and having those conversations, and then I get to teach other people when they disagree or whatever, and then we just kind of it kind of feedback loop. It's nice, and I think, because I'm shielded from that, not only the criticism, if you want to call it that, the bigotry of being a victim of you're invalid, because I'm all the things that are accepted by society. I think it's just safer for me to do it. Like, and I also don't experience the super negative feelings, like the dysphoria or whatever might happen. There's like nothing anyone can say online that would like hurt my feelings. So I think because I can shield and not give a shit about, like, it doesn't really affect me at all if someone's mean to me. Like, and then they can be back here kind of a level away from that hate. It's the same reason I put pronouns in my bio. Is so that someone's good, because I got a big, not huge account, but a big enough account to where someone goes, you get pronouns. It takes they're gonna, and I respond to them once, quote tweet them, and then they're just buried in notifications, and that's taking heat off trans people all day, maybe 2 or 3 days, depending on how weird that person is. So, yeah, I like that, and that's why I think that all straight people, all cis people, should put the pronouns in their bios on Twitter. Because
I'm not straight, but my pronouns are in my bio. So
yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the things too, is that your account on Twitter, you stand up for people that just say stupid shit. Like, you don't have a problem with calling people out for being fucking assholes. And I actually, honestly, again, with like, not only with the YouTube, but I also started doing Twitter because of you. You were like, oh, follow us on Twitter. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not on Twitter. Let's see what you guys are doing.
Twitter is wild.
I got called an ugly whore today and a whiny cunt.
And then someone else probably said, hey, you're valid and I love you. It's a very strange experience.
Yeah, in the same tweet, I got like 100 "you're super awesomes," whatever. But then I got it because it was a thing about Trump. I called him a racist fuckwit. Yeah, and they did not like that, the MAGA people. So yeah, I got ugly whore, that kind of stuff. So yeah, Twitter can be kind of a garbage fire. It's really
100%.
But you can also find some really supportive stuff. Like when I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, that's how I let everybody know that comes to my channel or my friends or whatever. So and I got a lot of love and support for that. But then on the flip side, you have people they again, with the anonymity, they think they can say whatever the fuck they want, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
you're gonna get called out for it. Please.
Yeah, it's wild. And like, I got people, like, it's very strange. They think, and in some ways I do get it. Like, Twitter is kind of like the internet's public square, and and so there's a little bit of this like power dynamic when you're a bigger account, or you got like, and it's some like nameless 13 follower account or something like that, where someone just uses it casually. Like, I'm on there like most days, so like that people that use it regularly, you just build a following over time, and it's weird that people say crazy or racist or bigoted shit literally at me, and then I'll reply and they'll go, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, I'll delete it," and it's like, did you not, like, I know, like, it might seem like a lot to deal with, but I can just click the mentions thing in the notifications. It'll just show me mentions, and I'll just scroll through, like, while I'm taking a shit in the morning, and I'll go, oh, that's an idiot, and I'll click it, and I'll say a thing, and that's it, and I don't think about it again. And they lose their minds. Yeah. It's like, dude, if you don't want that shit, like, why bring that to yourself? I understand if I'm, like, looking for terms, and I'm out there being an asshole, and, like, nah, whatever you believe is stupid. Like, but I'm not doing that. You're coming to me. Like, I don't know. There's a really weird thing that happens there. But
you have sort of, I don't know, I want to say a magnet for some crazy fucks.
I do.
You really do. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because you're outspoken and you give a fuck about, other people, but it really does seem like there is this pull toward you to be kind of a super dick sometimes on Twitter, and I don't know what that's about.
I think it's a combination of that I do videos and stuff sometimes, so I have, like, people, if they haven't heard of me, like, really, because we're not huge, like, they see it and they go, wait, is that one guy? Or I have, like, different communities. Like, I got some Nazi groups that really don't like me. One guy challenged me to one guy challenged me to like a fight, like in high school. He's like, he basically said, "Meet me by the flagpole." It was hilarious. And I was like, "No, what? Why would I do that? Even if I could beat you up, which I might be the case. Even if I could, why would I spend the energy to do a fight?
No.
Why don't we just have a discussion?" And he's like, "I don't want to." I'm like, "Okay, then. I mean, chill."
Because
like, do whatever you
words
want.
are hard for some people, regardless. Like, I don't know how many times on Twitter I have said, I'm not sure if you're actually literate. So, because I will usually link articles to like certain things, because I'm a scientist. So I find, I find my information from many, many sources.
Yeah.
So when people say something stupid or wrong, I will tell them flat out, this is what it is, and I will link articles for them. But then I'm like, I don't know if you're actually literate and will read this.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a scientist, but I went to school for history, and so there's lots of really multi-sourcing for that, specifically because a lot of it's fucking hearsay. But I took courses specifically to identify propaganda and like the ways people use propaganda. Because you have to be able to parse information like that. And those classes, I didn't realize might have helped me more than any other classes in my life. Because it's pretty easy to go like, oh, that's a talking point. You're not saying a thing that means something. It sound like for instance, I do a podcast on Sundays called Sunday Service with Arian Foster.
Adrian, right?
Arian Foster.
Or Arian,
yeah. Arian, like the master race, but he's a black guy. And although it's not with a Y, it's Arian. He's ex-football player in the NFL and current rapper, and it's really actually good, not just because he's my friend. So we have this discussion a lot. We had Black Lives Matter discussion, and the discussion was like, all lives matter sounds reasonable, right? Because all lives do in fact matter. That's the point. The point is humanism, and we all want, but that's not the discussion, right? And so it's like that kind of stuff where you just go like a dumb person, and or maybe just an ignorant person, like genuinely ignorant, like they just like don't really interact with this information. That sounds super reasonable, and then suddenly, and this is a really big problem with the left versus right dichotomy, because the left, we're pretty nuanced, and like there's like, things are complicated, life is complicated, and the right just goes like, we can put a stamp on it and go like, no, it's simple, and it works because it sounds intuitive. All lives matter sounds intuitive, or make America great again sounds like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that. I don't know what great is, who defines great, who defines, again, what was the great that we're trying to achieve twice. Like, it's so, this is the big problem, I think. And that's why I think that people that can explain things and communicate effectively are ideal. Where I think we had that problem in 2016, people on the left lost that conversation because a lot of people resorted to, well, I have to explain this again. Like, it should be my job to explain this to you. And there was a lot of really poor communicators about things that are very simple, like bodily autonomy and gender expression. Like, very simple, that we're now very good at explaining. But I don't know, I think we need the lexicon when you have big left-wing movements like that. Since it's so much more nuanced, it's hard to win initially. Yeah,
because we don't. It is true that there's a lot of just straight out parroting on the right, where they find a point and they agree on it, and regardless of if they understand it or not, they just keep saying it over and over again. Where I feel like us on the left have more of an open discussion. And I was speaking with, I don't know if you know who Marie Delafonte is.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I was on a stream with her a couple weeks ago when we were talking about how with things like Black Lives Matter, or with even the LGBTQ community or anything, we always need to be learning. Like when we're wrong, we need to own that. We need to say it, and we need to say, okay, how was I wrong? and what can I do to make it better? And I feel like that's something we do more on the left.
Well, it's the thing we kind of exclusively do on the left. A great example was right around that 2016 or 2018. Al Franken had that old picture of him, a friend of his, I guess, he thought he had the rapport to grab at her breasts through like a vest or something. He thought he had the rapport to do it. Thought it was funny. Took a picture and was like, haha, when she wakes up, it'll be funny. She was upset about that, and he resigned, which is reasonable. He's like, you know what, you're right. That wasn't correct. And if you want me to resign, if you call for me to resign, that sounds like the right thing to do. And then you had literal fucking child molester running in Alabama, and the right was like, fuck it, who cares? Kids? We don't even like those. Like,
yeah.
It will probably happen in my house too, so it's okay. It's just, it's just wild that they have these. I don't know. I don't want to call them double standards. They just don't care.
Well, look what they did with Kavanaugh.
Yeah, same shit.
Would not even nobody on the right would even try to entertain the idea that maybe he did this, maybe he sexually assaulted
right
people.
like I'm sure there's more conservative, better someone that just fucking like hates abortion and doesn't like Mexicans, that doesn't have this baggage that you could easily put in, get your agenda across and whatever, but they just wanted to just be like, do this own the libs bullshit where he's not a good candidate, just pick a different one. Just pick it. He's got baggage. It's totally fine that someone has baggage. You pick them. It didn't work out. Pick a different one. You're gonna win. They had the majority. So put whoever the fuck you want up front instead of this guy, and like maintain the dignity of this office. But it's like very clear. It's just like especially with the Trump administration and like people like the turtle guy and I don't know when Jeff Sessions was around, and I don't know, like they don't care, and they openly don't care, and still people are like, yes, please, will you step on me, daddy? And it's like, why are we doing this? We could...
Well, I mean, look at the fucking impeachment. Okay, here's an actual trial where the president is supposed to be on trial and the senators are supposed to be the jurors. And before it even starts, they're admitting to the fact that they're calling the president and asking him how he wants his trial to go.
Yeah.
And specifically saying, we're not going to listen to any evidence. We already know that we're going to vote against this. And it's fucked. How the fuck did that happen? Like, seriously, how the fuck did that happen?
Because the people, their constituents don't give a shit. They just want to. I don't know. I think there's a psychology behind picking a winner and being one of the people that picked the person that won, and like they adopt it. Like I said, like that, make it their personality. Like it's like, I don't know. Sarah said something that recently that I thought was really funny. That is probably, I'm sure other people have said it, but someone had this isn't a Republican, I guess, but they had a Bloomberg sign in their yard like 3 days after he got dropped out or whatever. And I was like, why? Imagine like wanting Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Like, he was shit. And then she goes, I think that person thinks they're just a temporarily embarrassed millionaire. And then, like, if they vote for that, like, it'll help them on their quest. And it's like, I think that's really what it is. Like, this propaganda of the American dream and stuff, and this, like, bootstrapsy thing. Like, if you just work hard, you're going to be a millionaire. Like, first of all, if everyone's a millionaire, nobody's a millionaire. And second of all, like, you need specifically a lower class in capitalism for it to even work. And I'm not a communist, but goddamn, every single day capitalists make me want to wear red flagged underwear. Like, wild.
No, and okay, I have a question for you. When it comes to like Trump versus McConnell, who do you think is more dangerous?
Dangerous. I think they're dangerous for different reasons. I think obviously McConnell knows what he's doing. And I think McConnell is like not steeped in the brain stew of Alzheimer's or whatever the hell's going on with Trump's brain worms, but
But he took the test and he aced it, and the doctors thought it was so awesome.
yeah. But the executive office has a lot of power. I think if they both had the same, if you're talking about both being president, McConnell's worse.
Okay.
But as far as but for different reasons, because it would skew Fash pretty quickly. But I think Trump is right next to that, because there's this, God, I don't even know how to really explain it. There's this like his behavior is excused in a way that, like, you would excuse it for nobody else. And I don't know what it is about this cult of personality around the guy, but he can do some really, really fucked up, like, things that, like, patriots, self-proclaimed patriots, should be, like, throwing up at. Like the whole quid pro quo thing. Like, that's not okay. The emoluments clause. Like, Jimmy Carter sold his fucking peanut farm. Like, this guy is literally openly selling merchandise in his name, making sure he rents out like Trump Tower properties and like Mar-a-Lago, like all of this shit. Like,
he built the hotel down the street from the White House exactly for this reason.
Right, and it's like,
did you hear about the $380,000 that went from his campaign to Mar-a-Lago?
yeah, and shit like that. Like, we should care. Like, even if it's your guy, it's your guy. Politics and like, your platform and whatever, that's one thing. And I totally disagree and think that Republicans are largely abhorrent from most of their beliefs. But like they used to give a shit about, like, the office itself. Like, it used to be this thing that, like, they sort of fap to. It was like a religious thing. Like, that video that went around on Twitter the other day with that fucking robot guy twisting the gun around, and it's like, dude, that's propaganda. And you're like, if you're a veteran or whatever, that's that's a hard job and that sucks, and it's like, but you're being exploited at this point. It's not for defense.
Yeah.
It's not. It's in the pursuit of imperialism. It's in the pursuit of capitalism. It's not. Those aren't these ethical fights we're having anymore, where it's like, oh shit, they're doing human rights violations, we should stop that, or they're trying to, they attacked our borders or whatever. I don't even know. Like, even World War II is iffy because we stayed away for so long and didn't really give a shit until we had a little bomb. But like, they wank about the, like, this, like, sacred, like, America, like the founding fathers, like the statues. He fucking sold beans at the Resolute desk last week, and you're mad about fucking Confederate statues? Beans! He sold beans!
He doesn't want to sign the bill to fund the military right now, because within the bill it says they want to change the names of the Confederate bases. So he right now, the guy that is all about, America and everything, and the military, won't give the military their money because they want to change the bases.
One of the institutions of the United States, the USPS, has been basically propping up the economy of the U.S. throughout this COVID thing, shipping different things around, making sure people get their medication and stuff. He said that they are a joke, and he doesn't want to help fund them, even though, like, they have, like, there was a bill in 2006 under the Bush administration that went through that basically price locked them to where they couldn't adjust their prices as time went on. And it's fucked them because I don't know if people know this about the USPS, but it's not tax funded. It's a business that the government owns, and so it only works off of its own revenue. And like, this is the only thing that's really keeping most of the stuff going. Like, think about how much stuff you get delivered to your house. If it's Amazon, it's not Amazon delivering that to you. It's the USPS delivering that to you, like food and medication and like all sorts of shit. Like, and just even something as simple as, like, the mail he can't get right.
Well, no, I honestly think right now he does not give a fuck about the USPS because he wants to fuck with the mail-in ballots.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that's what he thinks it is.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if you go like, we're gonna make this a private company, it's already a private company. It's just owned by the United States. Like we're gonna give Jeff Bezos access to American mailboxes. They're still gonna deliver mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
Like that's not a. I don't know what the fuck is.
I have a couple questions for you. First
Yes.
is what was the inspiration for Bible Reloaded?
The inspiration for the Bible Reloaded. This is a happy subject instead of it. Well, yes.
Better than Trump, so.
Well, we were working at McDonald's at the time, which was just a shit show. But a lot of us there were going to college and stuff. And Hannah had just started reading the Bible at her parents' request. Because she was like, I think this is bullshit. And they're like, well, just read the Bible and then come back to us. And so we were hanging out, and we were in my... Shit, this was like 3 cars ago. It was a really shitty little red car. Muffler was broken, and I remember the rattling and shit. And we were driving to a gas station, because the nearest place to get anything out in the woods where we lived was a gas station. So we could get, like... I think chips and a drink and just come back to my place or her place and watch like a movie or some shit to hang out. And she had the Bible, and I was like, what do you have that for? And then she told me, like, oh, my parents are like, you know, read this. And she started reading out loud Noah's Ark. And I didn't grow up religious. I had read the Bible. I had a girlfriend when I was 17, 18, roughly in that area. And I lived in Florida at the time, and her mom was very religious. And I was like, this sounds like bullshit, because I had never really experienced, like, I have sort of regular religious people, but not this. It's like, she thought that angels came and visited her religious. And so I was like, this is bullshit. Let me read this shit. And I thought it was just so stupid. But I was, like, skimming and, like, you know, not really taking, like, deep notes, but I was, like, reading, and I was like, she'd say something, and I'd look it up, and I'd read it, and I'd be like, this is bullshit. And then Hannah started reading word for word Noah's Ark, and we noticed that it wasn't anything like the pop culture version of Noah's Ark, like, you know, 2x2 lions and shit. And we're like, holy shit, this is wild. And we started like just talking to each other and making jokes, and we had already been talking about doing a YouTube thing, not knowing what the hell it would be. And I was like, why don't we do this? Why don't we do an atheist Bible study? I don't think anybody does that. And so it was my idea, naturally. But she inspired it. And yeah, so we started that. We did the first one on my laptop microphone. We actually did the first 3 episodes on my laptop microphone. Then decided to buy a microphone after we heard the first episode and uploaded it. We're like, we should get a microphone. So we scrapped the second and third episode and then redid them. And then that happened. So that was that was how it started. And the joke was like The Matrix Reloaded, which is a shitty sequel.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody got that, because we were trying to go for like a sort of a Keanu Jesus with a gun. But
I love the art that you had done with the Jesus and the tuck shirt and the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
it was really good. I can't even remember who made that. It's still in the description. I don't even know if they're still part of this community. Maybe they ended up being a chud. I hope not. But yeah, that was great. That was super cool. And yeah, it was really, really bad quality, but people seem to really like, you know.
Oh, my first videos, I just introduced myself and talked about, you know, shitty things that Christians had done to me, and my sound is fucked. Like, you can barely hear me, and it's bad. So it's, you know, we all go through learning how to figure it out. When I started, I did it myself, but then people in the community started helping me, like Math Pig producing, and we have Critical Cripple Dave, who's asleep by now because he's in the UK, but you know, he has a OBS hack that we all use that works really well. So that's one of the things I love, is that as a community, we all just help. Like today, my friend Julie LaVoice was doing a live stream, and she had trouble with she was muted and you can hear her. So like everybody just tried to help, and we all, you know, stayed and waited and went to the next one when she fixed it. It's just, we have each other's backs. And I think that that's really why I came into the community, is I just wanted to, I don't care. I work hard on my YouTube channel to the best of my ability, but it's not, the subs and stuff isn't that important. What's important to me is being part of the community.
Yeah.
So, the next question is, what does Jake hope to do with his channel? What is his end game?
End game? Oh, I don't know about end game. That's as far as the Twitch channel and everything like that, my goal is to have fun and have a cool community. Like, I like doing this stuff. I'm in corn suit. It's not that serious. It is serious, but it's not that serious. Like, it's a place to come hang out and chill and like, whoever you are, unless you're a bigot, like as long as you don't judge people based on immutable facts about themselves and just like their takes or something, you're welcome here. That's pretty much the whole thing. And you'll find people within the community or content that we do that you really like. I also do D&D. Like, that's a huge part of our stuff right now, and it's one of the things I'm most proud of. I think it's an incredibly creative endeavor that I get to do with my friends, and it's been pretty successful. I'm a published I have published work out there in D&D, and like I don't know, it's kind of just an expression of like all the shit that I like to do and talk about. Like, sometimes we do trash. Like this week we're gonna do video games a couple times, which I don't normally do, but I'm branching into letting I guess just doing the stuff I normally do off stream on stream a little bit more often and spending more time with everybody because I like the community. I say if I had to have a long-term goal, it already pays the bills, so I guess it's not really the point, but I did say that if we got to 3,000 subscribers a month, and when I do this regularly, we're pretty close to 1,000 subscribers a month, which is, I'm doing well. Which subscribers are different on Twitch for those that don't know. Followers are like subscribers on Twitch versus YouTube. And then subscribers are actually people that pay you to hang out and have emotes and stuff like that on Twitch. But it's a little bit different on the YouTube. But I think it's like the join button on YouTube that doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
But
No.
I did say that if we're getting around 3,000 subs a month, that would allow me to buy property around here because it's really cheap, and hopefully help students have cheaper and more reasonable rent than they have, because I live in a college town. There's like a community college and a regular university, and then down the road even more there's another university. Help that, and then the super long term, we talked about trying to do like a weed co-op.
Ooh.
Yeah, so which would, I think you need like $300,000 liquid, which is not what I have in my bank account. So, but that would be, if there is an end game to Twitch, that's what it would be. It would be something to improve my community a little bit.
That's awesome.
But right now I can only afford one home, so we'll see what happens.
Well, at least you got your stove and everything fixed, and you guys didn't get electrocuted and die.
That's a funny story. I bought this house, and it was built in the 40s, and the last time the electricity had been reworked on that side of the house, like where the kitchen is, was like the early 80s, and I didn't realize that because I saw like one plug next to the garage door that was like two-prong and like that really small one. And I was like, oh, okay. 60s, 70s, 80s, sort of. And then the plug behind the stove was actually had like an adapter. So I had to get that whole thing ripped out. It was okay to buy, but not okay to work on, according to code. So they had to like do the whole thing. And the guy was like, yeah, this is kind of a fire hazard. And I was like, well, I didn't expect that. So the community was really dope and help with that. Next project is a washer dryer. I'm going to stream something really stupid and have really dumb goals, and we'll raise money for a washer and dryer, and then a toilet. And then the basics of this house are I could probably buy a toilet, but those are not that expensive. But I'll still do something stupid. I ate beans once for money. Just a lot of beans.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, life is weird. They sort of abuse me, but are like, oh, I do hate hurting you, but oh, I love it.
Love it, yeah. Well, it's their way of connecting with you. So it's, even if they abuse you a little, it's all right. It's all
You
good.
earned it. I did feel really bad after the Dr. Pepper beans, though. Those are not good beans.
Okay. I can't imagine. Next question is who's worse, Pence or McConnell, from my friend Kevin.
Pence or McConnell? Oh, fuck.
I
Man.
know.
I really hate the evangelical stuff that Pence does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if this is true. I feel like he has a little more conviction insofar as, like, violations of... I feel like he's more like Reagan, which is bad, really bad. But I feel like he cares a little bit more about, like, the Oval Office in general and kind of, like, the symbology of it. And I feel like he also wanks himself off to patriotism, whereas Mitch McConnell is just a fascist.
Yeah.
So I think maybe McConnell's worse. But, like,
I think I
for
agree.
me, not for, like, for a gay person, probably not McConnell.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, as bad as he can be with the evangelicals, with the, his feelings of the LGBT community, I do see that he really does care. And that before he was elected vice president, he only had $15,000 in his bank. Like, he was nothing before Trump put him in office. It's really weird how he came about, but Trump has put a lot of weird fucking people in
Yeah, he's
office.
not a good person at all.
No.
Mormon Jesus.
But, yeah.
But it's the fact that he could care a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Thanks, Hannah, for coming and hanging out. I know you're still streaming. Damn. Later than usual.
Hi, Anna. Next question. Oh, my friend, we have our resident bug expert, my friend Brian. He's called Brain Bug. He has two, actually. He wants to know what your favorite bug is and what your favorite dinosaur is.
Favorite bug and favorite dinosaur?
Yeah.
Whew. Like a bug, like an insect specifically, or like an arachnid, or like, because I mean that could be a crab.
Yeah,
I don't know.
anything creepy crawly.
Oh man, anything creepy crawl. I could tell you what my least favorite bug is, which is those humongous millipedes. The ones that like and they're like cilia. Oh god, it's not cilia, but it looks like it. And like looks like worm peristalsis as it moves. I hate those fucking things.
Okay, at least favorite is fine. But do you have a favorite dinosaur?
Man, favorite dinosaur. I kind of bounce around. Cause sometimes like I go OG and I think of my childhood and I think of Jurassic Park and I go, man, I just love everything in that movie. Tyrannosaurus Rex, Velociraptor, something like that. I think the most interesting ones are, what are those called now? Not the the really long ones with the fins. What the hell are those called? Those fascinate me. Those fascinate me because they had like big teeth and like I guess were carnivores, I assume based on their teeth. And but they also had like whale fins and shit. Like how did those things? I just want to see one. I just want to see how that works. Because whales make sense to me because they they're humongous, but they still have like like they're like a missile. But these are like fat bodied and like they have cranny necks and I don't know. Like is that gonna eat a person? Is that gonna snatch somebody off the beach? That's wild. Is it a plesiosaur? I didn't want to say plesiosaur. It sounded wrong, but is that correct? Yeah, those are nuts. Those are nuts to me. Mastodons are cool. Pterodactyls, saber-toothed tigers are not dinosaurs.
Not dinosaurs.
Those are not dinosaurs. I mean, if I had to go with something that's not a dinosaur from something back then, though, there's pretty much anything. Was it the Cretaceous period where it just gets weird, where they're just like trying shit out? It just is like all over the place, like spikes on shit, and I like that stuff. Like or trilobites, or
I used to
water bears.
I used to teach science camp to kids. And one of the classes we did was with fossils, and I actually found one of those. It was just a piece; it wasn't a full one, but it was really cool. So yeah, that's
dope. In Michigan, we have lots of. They have what's called Petoskey stones, and they're little clusters of mussels that people that have been fossilized that people polish up. They look really really nice.
That's very cool. Next question. What my friend Julie asked, what D&D models or anything did Jake publish?
Did I polish?
Publish.
Oh, publish. Oh, I'm sorry. So I do homebrew stuff on DM's Guild, which is you self-publish and then, well, actually it's not self-publishing. You submit it and then they publish it on your behalf, and then it becomes like, they split profits because of the way Wizards works. It's whatever. But we've done pretty well on there selling these $1 things. I make subclasses for those who dabble in the D&D. So basically, if you think like, do you know anything about D&D at all? Have you ever played?
I've watched you.
Oh, okay. So
a few times.
Okay,
Yeah.
So for those who don't really know much, so think like, your standard like knight, wizard, whatever, druid. So think of a wizard. Beneath the umbrella of wizard are like types of wizards, like think necromancer or war wizard or something like that. So I've made published subclasses. I did one that's called the symbiote warlock. That's basically like Venom from the Spider-Man stuff. That works really well, and I think is super dope, and you will see in campaign 2. I did one based on it's a monk subclass that is Batman, basically. The Way of the Bat that people seem to really enjoy. And my most popular one is the Magical Girl Sorcerer, which is you can play as Sailor Moon or whatever. And a lot of people really enjoy those. I have right now, I am working on 4 other subclasses that will be published the day that we, I think it's 3 or 4, that will be published the day that we start campaign 2, which is going to be 2021, probably early 2021. And I'm working on a setting guide because I have a whole homebrew setting, which is a huge undertaking that'll take a really long time, lots of artists, and we'll probably have to crowdfund it. So I'm waiting for campaign 2 to see what the real interest is. Because there's some people that aren't watching because they're behind, and then they'll be able to start with the new campaign, and they'll be like, okay, so this is kind of what our audience is. And so that's pretty much what we're working on. They've done really well. They've done so well that we're gonna be able to like make a custom gaming table downstairs, and the set is gonna be different. I'm gonna be able to fund that whole thing through everybody else's support. I only sell them for $1 because I don't know. There's a lot of content there, but I feel like things are overpriced in the D&D community a lot because there's so much demand. So I like to, just make it a little bit cheap and accessible for people. And actually, right now, I think they're on sale for 75 cents. So if you look up Symbiote Warlock or Magical Girl Sorcerer, you'll find them.
Okay, I'll make sure to put the link in my description too for you. So
yeah.
So I have a really good friend of mine. He's actually kind of like a son to me because he's very young. His name is Chris, and he goes by Stuttering Chris on YouTube. He has a really bad stutter.
One of my best friends also has a deep stutter. Hi, shout out Richie. Hi, buddy.
He says, I want to be a YouTuber, which he is. He does have a channel, but he's been, he's self-conscious about it. And that's what he's saying. He's self-conscious about his stutter. Do you have any, he says, can you ask the nice corn man for any tips?
It's okay. So I'm really glad that I have a good buddy with a really, really severe stutter that he's done a lot of work on to try to, because that can be really debilitating. He gets really frustrated sometimes. On certain words, I'm sure you get stuck on, like ST sounds just now. He gets stuck on it where and he does that, and you can see in his face, he's like, I just want to say the word, and he's almost apologetic, and like for anyone that is around that, like, and is your friend, they don't care. They just want to hang out with you. So I hope you don't feel subconscious around your friends like that. But he found that singing songs he didn't stutter, which is weird and interesting. Because I guess maybe it's because the words are planned out in ahead. Maybe your brain just processes that differently. He can sing without a stutter, but he got and I don't know how much this cost, but he got a thing that really helped him. That was like a hearing aid, kind of. That, and I don't know the science behind this, but it works. I've seen it like magically changed how he talks. It detects what you're saying and then repeats it back to you almost at the same time in your ear, and for some reason that stops or really significantly reduces the stuttering. And so that might be something to look into. Those can be both implanted and just exterior. He just had an accessory. I do suggest, since you're doing YouTube videos, if you just do scripted ones, it might help to have an actual script. I don't know how your videos go. Because for some people, reading can help, and instead of going off the cuff, because you're kind of like doing a lot of processing. And I guess stress affects, I don't know if it affects him, but it affects Richie.
Yeah.
Stress can affect the stutter frequency. So just make sure you're having a good day, a chill day. Weed sometimes helps him. I don't know if
Yeah, we tried the weed. It didn't work for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, and obviously I would get medical advice if you're going to try to like chemically alter anything to help. But don't feel bad about having to redo something, or just lean into it. And people, it can. Frankly, I find it part of Richie's charm. It's kind of like it's kind of like part of his personality, and it just like it doesn't even really stick to me. Like I don't think about it when we talk. And I think that people just like learning to like you for the way you are and the way you are normally is probably a good thing. And while it can be frustrating, especially like if you're trying to really get something across and you're trying to be punchy with it, and it like interrupts that flow, consider making maybe a synonym of the word that's tripping you up in the script, or just doing it over and over until it gets done, even though it's frustrating, stuff like that. But he went to speech therapy and stuff, and it's really helped him. I know sometimes that's not accessible for everyone, especially if you're an American. So those are my tips, I guess.
Thank you. Like Chris, I love Chris so much. Thank you for speaking on that for him. But I think one of the things he needs to understand too is that all of us in the community support him and love him so much, and we don't judge for the stutter. We know it's there. Your name is fucking Stuttering Chris. It's okay. We love you regardless.
Yeah.
So,
that actually took Richie a while to get over too. And hopefully you just have a supporting group of friends that can just make you a little more comfortable. And usually that helps. Just being more comfortable helps you not stutter as much too. So. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have your Twitch, and I've noticed a little bit. And is it because of the pandemic that you guys have kind of made your own videos on the channel a little bit?
Yeah, that's a big part of it is because we can't just very easily go over. Also, there's she has a roommate that's like in the process of moving out right now, so I'm trying to wait until that is complete to where we can like really hit it hard. But we do plan on, since things again are calming down around here, we do plan on getting in the studio and hammering out a lot of videos. We have a lot of things that we really want to do.
You guys are working on one book. I can't remember whose book it is at the moment.
Dave Rubin's. I really want to get back into Dave Rubin's book because he's so bad.
So bad.
Don't burn this book. He's not a smart fella. But I'm really looking forward to being able to get back into it. The COVID definitely put a hindrance on our ability to like actually spend time and hang out. And then kind of with that, as you're in your house, then you're like everything gets jumbled. Like I think a lot of people are experiencing this. Like your sleep schedule gets fucky. Your just scheduling in general gets weird. Like
you don't know what day it is ever. Like,
and kind of that. Like
been out of school since I think March, and and then with the summer he didn't even have school, so we never know what fucking day it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same
but
shit.
I mean, I'm glad that you guys are getting back to normal. At least there's parts of the country that is. Because how do you feel about? I know you don't have kids, but how do you feel about the fact that Trump is pushing for kids to go back to school?
So I went to school for teaching, and I'm so glad I didn't pursue it at this point. I'm really glad. They sent me I forgot to get my diploma. And they sent it to me recently in the mail. They're like, hey, do you want this? I'm like, I guess, sure. I should probably have it. I mean, it exists regardless if I have a physical copy of it. But, like, I actually taught in school for a while. And as much as I don't personally want kids, I love watching those little light bulbs go off when they learn shit. And I'm sure as a parent, you've had a million experiences of this, like where, like, and not just first steps and like physical activities, but like learning like the context of like anything. There's just like a bunch of these like little light bulb moments. That's super satisfying to me. I also like to not have to deal with their bullshit when I leave the school. But for parents out there, you are strong people that I am not. Yeah, no, I think it's so stupid, and it's worse than when we shut down the schools in the first place. Like, it's literally, it's the same. I mean, I'm not really that surprised. They didn't do anything when Sandy Hook happened. Why would they do anything when fucking COVID happened? And now we're finding that people like above the age of 11 are pretty susceptible to it. And not only that, even if they don't have severe symptoms, they're spreading it to people that are in their homes, which spread it to people in other homes. I mean, like, and already, like, I mean, again, you have a kid. How many times have you gotten sick because he went to school? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
my fucking God.
Yeah,
so many
awful,
times.
awful. And it's just
he gives
like,
me everything he's ever had.
Yeah.
Everything he's ever had.
100%. Like, if one kid has the fucking sniffles, well, there goes your
That's the
weekend.
whole house down.
Yeah, awful.
And
like,
my son actually has lung disease too.
Yeah, and that's terrible. That's terrible. It can lead
The
long-term
idea
scarring.
of putting them in this petri dish, because really that's what it is. And it's not like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but kids are not great at like washing their hands all the time, or they're certainly not going to be able to social distance. I'm pointing this way because my son's school is right across the street over here. But it is, you go in the morning and it's so fucking packed in the atrium. Yeah. Like they can barely move. So what the fuck is going to happen? Of course that it's going to spread. And like you said, for some reason at the moment, children seem to be more susceptible to it. And they're not sure if, it has to do with the fact that because the kids have been inside and they're losing their immunity, or there's a mutation of some sort. But, it is getting worse. And to sit there and just say, they'll be fine, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So. It's really, really irresponsible. It's, and I don't know what it's going to take. It sucks. Are dead kids the thing that are going to take Republicans and make them realize that it's real? Like, when their kids come home and die? Like, it's wild.
No. It would have to be their own kids. And damn well that they are not sending their own kids out there. They're just not going to do it. Hi, Atheist Mom 10. Nice to see you. No, but it's so frustrating. And here's the thing. I told you about how my parents are Fox News followers. My mother, her job was a nurse. Okay. And she actually said to me the other day that she thinks the kids should go back to school, including my immunocompromised son. And I told her, I was like, but we have cases rising, and my best friend lives in Australia, and they have been able to put it under control, and their kids have gone back to school and stuff. So she brought that up, and she's like, well, look at your friend in Australia. And I was like, that's because they don't have any new cases. And she's like, well, it's the testing problem here. We have too many testing. She actually fucking said that, parroted what Trump has been saying, because that's what Fox is pushing.
But
and the fucking worst.
I don't know how they can't like apply their own thinking. Like, you're nurse. I don't know what it is. Like, are they scared of being wrong because they've been anti the severity of COVID since the beginning of it? Like, are they just scared of admitting that they were wrong about it? Like, is that what it is? Is it just pride?
I think it's part of it. And for Trump, he keeps saying, well, I'll be right. It will just disappear someday. Well, yeah, after we have vaccines and stuff, and actually, like, the CDC actually said, if every person wore a mask for 4 to 6 weeks in this country, we could shut it down. Yeah. So what did he do with the CDC? Shut them out.
Mormon Jesus.
Cut them off.
Just so stupid. It's so dumb. It's I don't know how you can look at the situation and be in charge of these things and not go like, I think we should shut this down and make sure that like we have the best situation for not just like, even if you're being really, really fucking cynical and you're like, I don't give a shit about the people, okay? I'm looking at the economy. You need people to make the economy go vroom.
Yeah.
And if they die or are sick for multiple weeks instead of the 4 to 6, like, we're still dealing with this. There's the unemployment is ridiculous right now because, like, there's people that own businesses that are like, I'm not opening up. It's too dangerous because we can't open back up because I can't have my customers coming in, or I don't have enough employees. They're all sick, or I'm fucking sick, or my family has immunocompromised, or the particular field I'm in is like an indoor thing. We can't do that. Like a lot of restaurants that aren't chains are really trying to figure this out. So use DoorDash if you can afford it, guys. And support your mom and pop restaurants. I know McDonald's is easy, but there's places around here that are trying to get by. Like a lot of Chinese places are also going under because, of course, the Kung Flu racist people.
God. That's what I freaked out about today on Twitter, because he had put that tweet out about the China virus and how he was everybody's favorite president. So I said, don't be a racist fuck, and you're nobody's favorite president, fuckwit. But yeah, they keep pushing this narrative. The unfortunate thing too is that the richest people in our country have actually made a shit ton of money during this pandemic, and it's okay with them. And that's really all they're looking to is how much money, we need to make money. He fucking freaked out when they closed down Mar-a-Lago. He really did. I know it's opened up again, but that was one of the first times he started pushing for reopening the country was when Mar-a-Lago was shut down. So you connect the dots and you see what he's doing. I don't understand the people on his side that don't see it. That's all.
I think it's a combination of ignorance of the truth because of the Fox News filter and stuff like that. And then there's the fear of being publicly wrong. Like I don't know what... I think it's part of the generation, like the boomers and stuff. And I mean baby boomers, not just like the mindset, which is definitely a thing. Like my mom, stuff like that. She's not... I guess she has been very good recently, actually. Her light bulb went off about racism for the first time in her life. Like 3 weeks ago, I had a conversation with her, and she finally got it. And I was like, so proud of her for like, because I was just asking her questions and working her through that shit. But like, she doesn't have like a lot of pride where it comes to that kind of shit. I think there's a lot of people that have this like, they grew up right after World War II in this like age of like surplus where like America was number one, and there's this sort of mythical correctness about being American that a lot of us buy into, for the record. Like, I mean, growing up, I can think of things that I said or thought that were like the other day, we were talking about, I was abject poverty guy. Like I was living in total poverty from the time I was like 17 when I moved out to like right when we did this full time, and maybe I shouldn't have done it full time right away. Like probably 10 years or so. Was it 27? No, it's probably a little bit younger. It's probably 24. But so a really good amount of time. And like I just thought that like Medicaid was like other people need that, not for me. Yeah. Like with vision and dental and stuff. And I looking back, like I spent thousands of dollars on like glasses and dental work and like other stuff that I could have just like I needed that. I needed that assistance. Like, and there's this like pride about it, and I don't know where it comes from, except from probably that generation and their parents. Like, no, we don't take no handouts. We're Americans. We work hard. And I'm like, I'm busting my ass. I'm still poor. Like, I was working 50 hours at McDonald's. That's not working. Like,
well, that's another more of the rhetoric that they push. My mother hates the left because she thinks we just want to give money away to everybody, and that's not what it's about. No. It's about giving people a chance, because when you're stuck in abject poverty like that, you have no way to climb out of it. And
Yeah,
that,
unless you're incredibly lucky,
holds
like I
the
was.
racism issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just...
You know,
I was trying to go to school, too, and then another thing my dad did is promised me tuition. He's a millionaire, or died a millionaire. And I didn't see a single dime for him for college that he promised. So that was like my plan, right? Like, oh, he wants to pay for college as long as I keep my grades up to a certain standard. He said that, like, you know what? I want you to have a future. And then he's like, you know what? Fuck your future. so it was like one of those things where it's like, well, tell me, I would have planned for you not being there, you fuck. And like, so I don't know. It was like a whole bunch of shit that, and I mean, a lot of people have it a lot worse. And I did pretty well in school until the semester I dropped out. But like, I was gonna go for my master's and shit. And like, again, I'm really glad I didn't, because I would be teaching right now, and that just sounds awful. But in this climate specifically. But like, not everybody has an asshole millionaire dad that doesn't help them. You know what I mean? Like, even that's a privilege. Like, I imagine if I was like fucking in the streets, maybe something would have happened there if I wasn't gay, which I'm not. So, but but you know, just the idea that, like, if we're making America great, what's great? What's a great country? Well, I would assume a great country is a place where the citizens in that country are just have a dope fucking time. However you define dope, however you define having a dope time, that's the country. And so what's great about a country? Well, maybe if you get sick, you can get that fixed. Cool. Maybe if you are at the very bottom, like your worst day ever, you still have access to shelter, food, water, security, a fucking cell phone, probably access to the internet. Basic things at this point that everybody should have. You should have access to go to get education. You can opt out of these things. You can opt out. You don't have to go get an education. You can go live on the streets if you want to. But you have the opportunity. You don't have to seek medical care, but you have the opportunity. That's it. That's like the basic shit. People are like, oh, you want a quality of outcome. No, I don't. If you suck at being at doctor school, if you go to doctor school because it's free, and you're trash, I do not want you being a doctor. I don't. It's important, and you shouldn't be that. Get a different vocation. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you go and try to do a thing doesn't mean you deserve the I don't know, the outcome, I guess. I can't think of a better word. Yeah. So, like, let's just try to get people
accolades for it.
You know, and some people are only going to ever work in factories. And we could talk about this a totally other time, but, like, our fetishization with labor in general is wild. I don't think people... We value someone's basic human worth based on their productivity. And even people that say they're communists do that. I literally saw that today. Like, hey, if you don't work, you don't eat in communism. Like, nope, bitch. What the fuck are we talking about here? Like there's some people who can't work. There's some people who, like, want to, like, do art or something like that. Like, is this work? Do you consider this labor? I don't know what this is. I consider it labor. I think it's hard, and I don't think everybody can do it, or else you would. But maybe someone else does it, and I've been told to get a real job a million times, and I'm like, well, this real job bought this house, so I mean, like, oh.
I'll just speak to that really quick.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact, yes, it's a YouTube channel, but you both do so much for people, and you put together this community. So fuck that and fuck those people. Let's say that. So. One of the things that the Trump administration right now is trying to go after is unemployment. They want to cut it really bad. So the rhetoric they're now pushing that I heard on Fox the other day was that people that are on unemployment are making more money than people that are working, and therefore they don't deserve to get anything.
Here's a really fantastic thought experiment for any conservative in the audience that has made it this far. If you are making more money on unemployment than you are while being employed, that is a clear symptom of employment being not worthwhile and not someone being lazy. That is a clear example of people needing higher wages and maybe probably UBI. Like we are we are very close to a point in human history where a lot of things are being automated. Like you might think that going to McDonald's and not having to have a human interaction with a person and touching their pad is great. I certainly think that's great. But then there's like 3 high schoolers that don't have jobs that day.
Yeah.
And then every other day, so 7 days a week, there's 3 people that aren't working. And that might seem small, but McDonald's is like, what, the 4th leading or 5th leading employer? Had like the Pentagon, China's Army, the United States Army, and Walmart, I think. I think those are the top 4 in a row. I think McDonald's is 5. It might be a little bit less down the road, but like that kind of shit. We're getting automated, and now it's starting to get to the point where, like, even if you want to do labor, like, you kind of can't. And then they just say, well, just go back to school and learn how to work on the machines. It's like, first of all, those touchpads do not need daily maintenance, okay? They're made okay. Second of all, they don't have the labor job to pay for the college tuition.
Yeah, or we could just, like, go into debt for the rest of our lives like they kind of want us to do. I mean, I did my master's as a single mother, and I had, I unfortunately changed majors. My first degree was in astrophysics, and then I moved over to climate science. So, but I did have, some scholarships and stuff, but I still had to take out loans because that's what you do in America to go to school. You take out fucking loans and you end up having to pay until you fucking retire, and it's bullshit.
People forget, and I think it's really important to remember, we made this up. Like, it's made up. It's all pretend. We're LARPing. Like, the artifice of the government and money, literally money, is made up. It's a concept that we just agree. If I hand you a piece of paper that says 1 on it and has George Washington and some serial numbers, you go, okay, that's 1. But it isn't 1. What if we agree that it's not anything? Is it 1 in I don't know, fucking Papua New Guinea where they have no use for that? No, it's at best you can light a fire with it. Like, the only reason it has value is because we agree. If we just agree that, like, hey, we should do it differently, then we do that. We're not people are so weird. We think, like, oh, we thought of a thing. Now that's how it is. We can't do better. What do you mean we can't do better? We can literally just go, nope, I disagree with that. We tried that. Didn't work out. Let's do a totally different thing. Did you know that we're in charge of us? It's wild.
Yes. No, but you're right. And then we get stuck on, what we have, and we don't think we can change it. But, speaking to the UBI, aside from the fact that obviously minimum wage needs to get higher because it really is not a living wage as it is. No, not even close. I think the virus has really proven that our government can afford a UBI. Yeah. At least it doesn't have to be not every month, but it is shown that there is the money there, especially if, maybe the tax cuts to the billionaires stops happening, but it is clearly something that is accessible to us. Well, so why aren't we doing it?
Because they don't really understand. Okay, I guess capitalism, the way it works is the only incentive in capitalism is to make capital. Maximal capital specifically. So if you're not making maximal capital in the moment, you're not capitalisming right. And so if you give people money in the moment, you're not maximizing capital. That said, my argument against capitalism is, as someone who values aspects of capitalism, and I think most of us do, especially if we think about it. Not to say that you can't have a PlayStation in socialism. I just don't think you can have one in socialism today. If that, like, if you switched, I think
for me, I see like the value. As a scientist, I see there's a reason to fight and to learn and to discover more when capitalism is involved. Unfortunately, so
I think you could. I think now that's the case, and that's why I don't advocate for like a full socialist. We talk about this a lot on my stream. What I advocate for is steps toward what the anarchists want, and is probably ideal for society, but we need to get kind of post-scarcity. We need to have certain things in place where we have automation, we have UBI, and we kind of reduce the artifice of this global capitalist society. Like, in global capitalism, we kind of can't detach from it right now. And so it's like, it's not really safe to do so. But that said, we can move towards, we need to move towards right now, a mixed system, probably 3 different systems. One being the UBI capitalist system, semi-capitalism with lots of oversight, and then socialism in places where ethics are concerned, like schools and hospitals and shit like that. Where, you know, your PlayStations are still existing, but you still get free healthcare, or, you know, not free, but you know how it works. And I think we get all of those are very nuanced, right? And so if I say that to like a hardcore capitalist, they're like, you're a socialist. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then the socialists go, you're a capitalist. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just don't think we can, I don't think we can like hard shift into what I believe is absolutely more ethical is anarcho-socialism or whatever. Definitely it's more ethical. But just, we have to work within the system, and that's slow and sucks. It really sucks. It's painful. And especially in a society where I can go on my phone and I can order something and it'll show up either within an hour or a couple days, depending on what I want. Like we are so immediately satisfied all the time. And so we're at this culmination in human history where information is instant to everybody. Yeah. And then you also have to parse that information. Satisfaction is instant. Money is necessarily kind of scarce,
especially now.
And so and then labor is being stifled by this COVID shit. So like all of this is sort of fighting itself, and then you add to that electoral politics in America, and then this sort of zeitgeist shift to like just accepting people versus this very loud no, trans people aren't okay, people over here. Like, it's just a wild time where all of these things, we're dealing with the psychological impacts of talking to people around the world in real time all the time. And like, I don't know, like I remember growing up in you know, we had AOL and stuff, Instant Messenger, and like it started and branched off into texting, and then now we're in here, like social media. Like, I remember like people being like, "Why don't you go outside and play?" Or like things are simple. Just go to school. Like they don't fucking understand. And these are the boomers now. They don't understand this at all. Like this conversation right now, they don't even necessarily. Most of them realize this is possible.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
we're living in literally different realities in the same reality. It's absolutely wild.
I do a show on my friend's channel every morning, Critical Cripple, where he's in the UK, as is my boyfriend. And there's some of us in America. We have some people in Australia that come. Like it's a litany of you know, people from different countries all getting together for this one time in the morning. And, you know, that's really interesting that I think that's one of the things that the virus has done is, in a weird way, brought us together more, though, because we're able to have the time to connect with people like this.
Sadly,
and talk to each other.
It didn't work like 9/11 did, though, because we don't have anything to hate.
Yeah.
When before we were like, yeah. Remember when people said,
especially in our community, we have a lot of Trump hate. So
yeah, I think that's probably, and they hate everybody else. But like, we don't have anything that unifies both sides of the aisle. Whereas like 9/11 felt like a, hey, fuck you, man. And then another guy was like, yeah, fuck that guy. And we're like, hey, fuck you together. And then so we could like do the thing. Although it was very infantile and stupid. Because that is such a complex situation that we boiled down to like some people died in a building. It was like sad, but like way more in depth than that. Starting in fucking the 40s. But history major, you can't shut it off. So it's like probably like talking to you about like if I bring up pollution or something, like, wow, it starts here and then it goes here's the threads that you can follow out, and it affects literally every aspect of our lives. Like, yeah, it's just again, we deal in a lot of nuance, and we're dealing with people that don't want to have those discussions because they're harder.
No.
And it's rough. It's a bummer.
Yeah, it is. And I think what you said is important was with 9/11, you had something that united both sides. Right now, both sides are fucking polar opposites of each other.
Yeah.
And there just doesn't seem to be any like discussion and capitulation at all.
Well, it's because
it's just fuck you, I hate what you think. Fuck you, I hate what you think.
There's no middle ground on like treating someone different with dignity, right? Like on the trans topic, like, okay, I'll let you misgender my friends. No, we know that that's harmful. And here's why. Like, there's no middle ground on opening the country in a pandemic or wearing masks in a pandemic. There's not, or racism or Nazis or fascism. Like, there's not I'm not meeting you in the middle on any of these issues. There's a middle ground on, like, how should we tax for schools? Sure. We can have that discussion. That's fine. I think tying it to property taxes is unethical and lies in racism. But, we should... There's at least a discussion to be had. Like, we could be like, okay, well, what if you come under this threshold of property taxes? We should at least fund to this level. Everything else can be funded, and then we should bring it up to this level, minimum. And if people have excess, we could move it over. You know what I mean? We can just like shift it around. It's made up money again. So, but like, there's just this whole culture of like, I think it's part of the social media thing where they get like, someone gets 100 followers and they get a little chubby in their pants and they're like, well, fuck, now I'm famous. Like, bitch, you are not famous. I'm sorry to tell you, Ted, but those are just Russian bot accounts because you said MAGA in your bio.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not great. Don't take
no,
this
but
away from
there is no way. Yelling in your face about Nazis being okay or politicizing masks, which I do not understand how that happened or why.
Wild to me. Totally wild. Like, I understand, at least to some degree, intellectually, and I don't understand it on like an emotional level. I understand intellectually the argument that, like, if you tell me I can't do X in a pandemic, that is against my freedoms. Like, go fishing. Okay, I can see how that's an argument. I disagree with you, and here's why. And I think it's, because you're not just going out into a lake. You got to stop at a store, grab some bait. You got to get gas. You're interacting with people, and it makes the world less safe. Let's just wait 4 to 6 weeks, and then you can go fishing, buddy. That's a huge thing in Michigan, so that's why I brought it up. But, like, masks? Like, going into a business with other people wearing a mask? It's just a dress code. Like just wear the thing. Just wear. It takes nothing. You don't have to... Look, corn soup mask. Done. Finished. It took me this. Yeah. I'm wearing a t-shirt right here. Just go like this. I don't care. It doesn't have... And you can wear the you have a swastika on your mask. I don't give a fuck. Just don't fucking cough on me in 7-Eleven, dude. Like, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what political message you have on there. Feeling you need to. Like, I have little fat dragons on there. They're cute as fuck. They're little chubby boys, and they're shooting... Or are they dinosaurs? I can't remember. They're cute. They're little chubbies. And that's not political. Get whatever you want. I don't care. I literally don't care. People are having masks of their own face. Right. That's fucking horrifying. Awesome. Do it!
I heard the argument on Fox, which my parents then parroted, was that it only helps if the person has COVID and it keeps, but if you're sick, you're not going to go out. And I'm like, do you not understand incubation periods and how viruses work at all?
No, like, symptoms for up to 2 weeks.
Any of the scientific knowledge out there, you're just politicizing it. That's all it is.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like you don't have symptoms for multiple weeks.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean they know they're sick? No, they don't.
No, they don't.
And first of all, just because it works better because you have a mask on and you're covering your shit if you're sick, and like you desperately have to go to the store for, I don't know, Tylenol or something, which I guess you shouldn't take if you have COVID, by the way. But this still protects you at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like 15% if you're wearing a mask, it lowers your chance by 15%. Lowers your mask is spreading by 70% or something like that. And then if both are wearing it, there's a 90% chance that if you're 6 feet away, or within 6 feet, that neither of you are getting it. And if you're outside of 6 feet, there's almost nothing. Because you both. Because it's just the traveling of those particles and how they deal with the fabric and how they float through the air and shit. And as long as you're like sanitizing your hands and stuff before you get back in your car, before you touch shit, like we could fix this, and we could have like I like sports. I don't know if a lot. No, my fan base doesn't like sports that much, but god damn it, I would like to watch some. I'll watch some shitty baseball. I'll watch some basketball, football. Come on, that appeals to Southerners. Think about college football.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get college football because you're like, I'm a renegade. No, fuck off.
You have your NFL players, so do I. Have my friend Robert Reed used to play for the NFL, and he
Reed sounds really familiar.
likes the sports too. So I got him into marble racing, and that's the thing. I think the guy is in the Netherlands that does it, but he has all these different marbles that he builds different tracks for. It's like every other day or something. And the marbles have names, so you get to, pick which one you want to win and everything. It's really cool. But it's, a non-contact sport. It's just him, and this is the new sport for now. So,
yeah.
But I understand what you mean, wanting to. We do. We want to get back to real life. I want to get my kid, he got a job, but we live on a golf course, and he just cleans the golf carts and stuff. He doesn't actually have any contact with people.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he needs to get the fuck out of the house. He really does.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm not going to send him to school. So.
Right.
And I mean, to fix it.
Yeah, it's just a whole, and I don't know, I want to go to brunch. I want to go hang out. I want to we usually go on vacation in July for our anniversary, and we had to push that back to August so that we could. I rented it sounds really bougie and expensive. It actually was not expensive. I rented a cabin on a lake. So we could just have our own private beach and just do what we want there. And then we can visit and go shopping if we need to, wear masks and stuff. But we're going to be, away from people. Now we have to do that, which, I mean, I'm fine with having a private beach. But, I could have done it in July instead. But, there's just so many things that I think are unsafe. I'm not going to a hotel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just little stuff. And think about how that affects the economy, right? If we would have done this 2 months ago and taken care of this shit and just been responsible, we quarantined in the house for almost 90 straight days. We didn't really leave very much. And I know a lot of people that did that. And then there's other people out there going nah, I want to go breathe on stuff. Why? Just fucking chill, bro. Literally you're being paid to stay at home and not be an asshole. Just do that. I don't know. I kind of, if this would have hit earlier in winter, I think maybe it would have gone a little bit better because people have been like, man, it's cold.
Yeah, I'll just still stay inside anyway.
But then they fucked our summer.
Yeah. I had no idea how long this is going to keep going,
Until a vaccine,
right now, luckily, we have the choice. They've given us the choice. There's what I'm surprised of because I live in the South. I'm not from the South. I had to move here. But they did give us the choice to either send our kids to school or do it distance learning, online learning. So I'm lucky that they did that. But there are a lot of places that aren't doing that because our president is pushing it, because some of the Republican governors are pushing it. And I really think that this is going to be an issue. The kids are going to start fucking dying very soon. And that scares the shit out of me. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely possible that kids start dying, or minimum what happens if a kid comes home and both his parents get sick and now they're dead, or they're just in the hospital. What's that kid gonna do? There's there's just so many situations where it's just incredibly unsafe. School is incredibly important. As a person that went for education, obviously it's very important. We have the internet. We can make this work. We can make this happen. It's not that big a deal to high school is 90% social, 10% the shit you learn. Let's be real, right? It's really about growing as a person and learning kind of the different ways to navigate life. And hopefully that little 10%, hopefully that translates into some sort of life experience to where you can go, okay, I know a little bit about the government. I know a little bit about how to drive a car or finances a little bit or home ec or whatever fucking part of high school, because how to write a paper for college. College is the only time we really learn how to be people that operate in like a professional setting. High school, we need to make sure that these kids have like outlets for their social needs and for the little bit of learning that we need to be doing at the same time. And I don't know that they need to be in person for that. I don't know that they do, because they spend so much time not being in person talking anyway. I sound like an old man now. I said they. But like
one of the things that my son's one of the classes that my son took, an engineering class, they would have a Zoom meeting and for a certain amount of time, and then there was 10 minutes at the end for the kids to discuss what was going on. So that was almost a bit of they didn't really. I was in there a couple times when it was happening, and it would tangent off into, hey, what are you guys doing, whatever. But I mean, it's, like you said, it is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with, I don't think I've been to a school that hasn't had a decent enough internet access at this point, like within the last 5 years, to pull this off. Like, you can even have the teachers still go in and do it from the classroom so they have all their stuff. And just having the teachers only there, like, allows them to have their own space. You can do a conference call. They can have all the normal stuff. It can even feel like, as it's from the students, it's a very typical experience of being in the classroom. And then on top of that, all you got to do is be like, hey, okay, you really got to understand as an educator, kids are going to be not super engaged all the time, and that's okay. Just be like, I don't know. There's a whole thing on modalities and stuff and the way people learn that educators should know that, but probably don't. But like, we can make this work. It can absolutely work, especially little kids and stuff. That's the hard part because of daycare and people. But right now, people don't have to go to work right now that much. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I have kept you a really fucking long time. I'm sorry about that, but I've enjoyed our conversation very much.
It's okay. I'm gonna be live after this anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask one last thing. I'm a climate scientist, so if I ask how you think we could fix the broken issue in America with climate change, because we are the most powerful country in the world, and yet we are so far behind where we should be. We have a president that denies climate change. What do you think we could do to be able to move forward? Because we have a certain amount of time and we are at the moment, at the rate that we're going, we are adding 0.1 degrees Celsius every decade. And we are already at past 1 degree Celsius. If we go past 1.5, we are completely fucked. So we need to do something.
Yeah.
Of thoughts on what we can do specifically in America to fix this shit.
Well, I definitely think that we need to change the narrative to get people on board with it that are laymen and that don't buy into like climate change. Maybe it's very similar to how I've decided that I'm going to start changing the way I argue things, not based on ethics necessarily, because it doesn't seem to speak to Republicans because they don't seem to give a shit about anybody. But rather, I think left-leaning policies lead to more freedom. And I'll argue literally anybody about that. I think I'm right. And I think a lot of people agree. I think we need to... It comes down to branding. We need to take these things and be like, you know what? We're going to make some new badass jobs for a bunch of people that are affected by... Shit, if you want to continue to vilify China, which I would not like to do, but even if we just sell this to the right, all we got to do is sell this to the right. As long as they are buying into this, like whatever it is, we need to make sure that we are on the cutting edge. We are America, whatever. Appeal to their bullshit. We need to make sure that we are on the cutting edge of this emerging industry that will, regardless of whether we believe it or not, there's going to be jobs and a market for green energy, for all of these climate adjacent industry, like around the world. All of this is going to be like, there's a huge booming industry that absolutely we should be investing in. We should be investing our education in. We should be we should have vocational post high school schools that are teaching people to be educated on climate and educated on solar, educated on wind, same way we do HVAC. We should be having these things, and all of the things I just said now, if a Republican listened to that, probably they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, capitalism. But really, the end goal is to not die and to make sure that we have a sustainable planet for not just humans, but for every living thing here. It's a big homeostasis ball that of course, people on the right don't understand, but you need kind of all of it to work. You need aspects of the Amazon. You need deserts in Africa deposit silt or deposit minerals from the air as the wind blows across into the Amazon that expands out into what becomes algae in the Atlantic and the Pacific that is the number one producer of oxygen in the world. The Amazon is not the lungs of the world. Really,
no,
it's the ocean, and we need to protect that shit. If it gets too hot, that shit goes away, and it's people don't really fucking understand. They go, trees make air. No, it's pretty much algae, and we don't have enough land to sustain that shit, and we need people to understand. Not only is there fucking money in it, but it just makes your life better. Imagine not having to pay your power bill. Isn't that dope?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fucking cool. Let's do that. Let's because I don't want, again, from a libertarian, totally no leftism at all. Take lefty out of here. There's only two genders, and I could still have this opinion. I don't want someone having a monopoly on whether or not I can power my house. Totally libertarian. Yeah. I could be self-sustaining with solar power and wind if we just normalize this shit. We could be even further self-sustaining if we normalize home gardens, if we normalize composting, if we start normalizing, and it is happening, veganism, which I'm not a vegan. Vegans, you're right. I just can't get there. Hopefully, down the line, we'll all continue to be more correct about that, but ethically and probably environmentally.
It's a
for the most part,
environmental issue.
Yeah. There are some things that it's not super perfect on, but I mean, there's nothing perfect. It just seems better. There's lots of stuff that we could do to just really normalize this shit, and it doesn't have to be really political as far as left leaning. We could sell this shit to the right really easily. Sadly, I think we have to hide it, almost like they hide their racism. We have to hide our humanism. We have to hide the ethics of, we can't say, I need this so our children can be free and have forests to walk in. They'll be like, I don't give a fuck about forests. Be like, no, we should have solar so we can have more money and shit on China economically. And they'll be like, yeah, fuck that. And then we could hand out American flags with trees on them and I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to have to trick them is basically what it is. We literally have to brand better. The same thing I was saying about 2016. Where we lost that political debate, and then we had a bunch of chuds being trans people aren't valid, is because we had people on the front lines of that weren't people like me. And maybe I should have done it earlier. I feel like I was doing it, but maybe I was not doing it as well, obviously. People that were actually negatively affected by, being misgendered, right? Are on the front lines of that first conversation, and they can't handle that. They shouldn't have to handle that. And now, moving on, we're getting more people that can handle that conversation and can start communicating. And now people are like, you know what? That sounds reasonable. That's fine. Because they're not being told that they're transphobic or whatever. Even if they are fucking transphobic. Just not calling someone transphobic or not calling someone racist or not. Even if they fucking are. And I do it a lot. It helps. It's just, you got to pick your battles with that. But I think broadly, as a political movement, we need to dog whistle humanism. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody with me?
No, and you said it perfectly to just change the narrative. Honestly, like I said, I work in the industry and I've never actually looked at it that way. I mean, I know that we have to sell it to them, but the way that you explained it, that was pretty awesome. So I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, it feels dirty at first, but then you're like, fuck them. Fuck them. They don't want to do it for a nice reason. Let them do it for the selfish reason. Because Americans, not just Americans, people, but Americans specifically, we're pretty selfish. We're pretty fucking selfish. So just lean into it. Be like, okay, you know what? This helps you here. And I think it'll work. I really think that shit'll work. Especially if you go like, oh, you'll have more freedom. They'll be like, oh, I have a boner already. Tell me more.
Yes, that is awesome. Thank you. So yeah, I'll let you get to your Twitch thing. I'm Momma Atheist, by the way, on YouTube. Anything you want to shill that you're doing soon coming up?
Well, first of all, in our little private chat here, can you put your the URL to your thing so I can spam it in my chat? But
Traffic.
yes, please. What am I doing? So if you like Dungeons and Dragons, or have no idea if you like Dungeons and Dragons, you're like, that's nerdy. You should come hang out on Thursday nights around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We do charisma saves, which is it's the thing I'm most proud of. We didn't talk about it a ton tonight, but it's not really about that anyway. Because I do this most.
Yeah.
But it's more chill, and it's it's just really cool, and I like spreading the hobby around. I think it's really fantastic. I think it's really positive. It's a very creative space. It's a very inclusive space, and it's just super fun. But other than that, as far as shilling, just this in general, if you like seeing a grown man wear corn for money, I'm your guy. We have a really, really cool, inclusive community that, I just think is super positive. Like we have people in here, like, it's almost a meme to say that you're valid in the chat. And that's like super cool. And there's so many people in here that like they've spun off and started their own projects, and like they're doing podcasts and they're playing D&D and they're out here trying to do their best, or we have some people that do charity streams on Twitch themselves, and like we all sort of work together, and it's not just me being ahead of it or anything. I just think I have the biggest audience right now within this audience, but we have just like a really cool space, and really they're the people that make this like cool. Like the chat is cool because they're cool, and my mod team is fantastic, and pretty much if you just want to hang out and feel good and cathartic, because we yell at people a lot. Yeah.
But stupid people.
Stupid people. Yeah, we're yelling at like Trump supporters, and we're yelling at people that are like, what was the guy the other day? He thought, what did he think it was unethical, chat? That Michael guy with the good hair? He had great hair, but he was, it was like, unethical to, oh man, now I'm totally forgetting. It was really, really stupid though, and we just laughed and laughed about it. We have the trans protection ruling for the Supreme Court. They added the trans protections to civil rights laws, basically. Where like you can't fire someone for being trans or gay or whatever. It was like, it's unethical, and here's why. Just hilarious. So people like that. Anti-discrimination laws.
Hateful assholes.
What an idiot.
It feels good to come together. I think Ronnie Ronnie Alley started the whole "You're Valid" thing, because he was the first person that started saying that, and then he has his own podcast now too.
So. Yep, with Jeffrey, and there's another. Who else is on that podcast? There's another person that I can't think of right now. Evotion is a big part of that. I mean, pretty much everyone. Literally, I look down in this chat and I'm go, oh well, they do something here. So I'm gonna stop shouting people out. Lunos Nocturne. I said I would stop shooting, but Lunos Nocturne does a lot of charity stuff for Interplay. So good guy Malachi. That's what it is. And so I mean, even if you don't create content, just being here and being like positive in the community is dope as fuck. So yeah.
I actually have a friend, if you like D&D, and if you need more D&D, we have an Atheist D&D in our community that my friend One Ring 42 does.
Nice.
It's he does it on Saturdays, I think, Saturdays or Sundays, and it's just a few atheists that get together and do D&D, and they really enjoy it. So if you like more of that, there you go. Really but I cannot thank you enough. Like Jake, I like I said, I wouldn't be here without you. This was an awesome chat, so I hope you come again. But thank you for coming, and just thank you for doing what you're doing. Pass my love on to Hannah. And I thank you both so very much. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Thank you for having me on. Just ask me again, and like before, badger me. I'm bad. I'm bad at stuff.
It's fine.
I really do need. I need reminding constantly because I got so much shit going on. So usually I just say, hey, abuse those DMs. Just like don't feel bad about it because I told you to do it. Just really hit me with them. So.
That's awesome, and then I can't wait for you to come back again. And thank you for sharing me with your Twitch people. You guys, I miss you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for always being kind to me as well. So have fun with your trash stream, and thank you for everybody in my chat for coming.
Yeah.
Just remember to think critically. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And thank you, Math Pig. Look at that.
Yeah, he wants to. He's gonna ask.
I was gonna say I wasn't gonna hang up because he knew he said he wanted to say something.
Oh no! Totally gonna take the last 30 seconds that you just said. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the last 30 seconds that you said live on stream, and I'm just gonna throw it back at you. I will badger you. I'd love to have you on.
Do it. Just send me a DM on Twitter. It's the best way to get a hold of me. And yeah, I don't really have like a threshold for anybody. It's just like a neat space, and it seems fine. So yeah.
Yeah, that'd be perfect, man. I'm Hogfather_1. So whenever you see it, you'll know who it is.
All right, sounds good. And then I think now that my schedule is opened up, it shouldn't be nearly as hard as it was for her. Because I had a really fucking busy schedule for like 3-4 months there, and it was really bad. But any day that isn't Sunday or Monday or Thursday. Those are
that literally is the day.
We'll figure it out. It's fine.
Are those the days you do stuff?
The 3 days that I do stuff
Sunday,
is Sunday at 5 Eastern.
Well, is it your time though? Because sometimes that's the next day for me. Because you're 5 hours, right? 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, if I was doing it Eastern Standard, it's 5 Eastern on the Sunday, 5 Eastern on a Monday, or 5 Eastern on a Thursday.
I could.
You
Well,
work
I
together
could make the Monday. I could make the Monday work. It's usually my day off.
In saying that, man, the COVID thing, I'm going back to work now at the minute, and the mother of the daughter's shifts are changing, so we can definitely work something out. I'm not going to slam anything down and put that pressure on you right now. I'm not that much of a cunt. We'll figure it out in the future. 5 Eastern is usually my time, so any day that you can do 5 or 6 Eastern, that would be perfect, and we can work around that day.
That's most days, and if Monday is the only day that works, it'd be a couple Mondays out, probably, because usually my day off when I have stuff planned. But if it's a couple Mondays out, I'll just make Tuesday my day off. It's not a big. It's my own schedule, so who cares?
Yeah,
but like,
if you give me an hour or two, that would be absolutely fantastic.
100%. Yeah, anytime.
Thank you so much. We'll let you get your Twitch stream. Really appreciate it, Jake.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, have a good night, guys.
You too.